tradition that can't be justified by its own intrinsic rationale, much less by just some sort of more general rationality, is nothing but a series of, as I say, echoes. It doesn't carry any more moral authority than, the old game of telephone, where someone whispers something in someone's ear, and by the time you get to the end of the chain of whispers. There are many names for this game, by the way. In Britain they used to call it Chinese whispers for some reason, but I'm sure that that's not the term we should use now. When you get to the end of it, the original message has been changed beyond recognition, almost irrevocably, because the very effect of echoing also contracts and alters and begins to impose a new conceptual paradigm. And I think that's what happened over the course of Christian history. There was no clear idea of hell. The discrimination of fates in the life of the age to come appears in a series of metaphors in Scripture which are not actually consonant with one another, if you take them all literally, because there's some that suggest destruction, like brambles, thorns, chaff being burned away, just total destruction. There's some that suggest imprisonment and torment of a kind, but those are all depicted as temporary. You won't get out till you've paid the last farthing. And if anyone knows how a debtor's, which is basically the only kind of prison there was, other than temporary holding cells, debtor's prison worked. There was an arranged way in which one could generate revenues through one's family, or even within prison. But ultimately, it's a sentence that comes to an end. Well, right there, you already have two forms of imagery that are not consonant with one another. There are others that are just images of being left out of the party. The wailing and gnashing of teeth, that's very dramatic. That's a very dramatic way of translating it, but it really is, the people who don't get let into the feast because they didn't come properly dressed. They're outside in the dark crying. Okay, so they got left out of the party when the kingdom arrived. But taken together, these don't give us a single image of judgment. All they say is that how you conduct yourself in this life will have consequences in eternity. But as I've also pointed out, there are so many verses in the New Testament that also seem to promise universal redemption, that taken all together, you don't have a picture, and nor should you expect one. But that's a very uncomfortable situation for an enfranchised institution, which is now expected, and in fact expected by the emperor and imperial authority, to be a pillar of the society that he governs. And so it was an inevitable, almost dialectically inevitable reality that the tradition that became dominant would. Well, anyone with any sense of historical contingency who doesn't have a magical notion of what tradition is should be willing to go back and look at that history and recognize precisely how unconvincing a lot of it is.